I'm going to introduce who is going to be on this call. I have Valerie. And
hello, everyone.
Director, you remember Valerie, right? And next one, I have Michelle Jennings, our pet volunteer with her dog, Emmy.
Hello.
And then I have board certified holistic nutritionist, Jane Reynolds.
Hey, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Then I have Raquel Garcia, and she is a representative or medical advisor with All Well Insurance.
Hi, everyone.
And next one, I have Bridget Nelson, who is our nurse and clinical coordinator and also our marketer, right? And we will have few more people joining us later, but I'm going ahead and I'm gonna pass this on to Valerie, our wellness director, and she's gonna talk about National Senior Day and everything, all the good stuff.
Yes, good afternoon, Quail Park. Happy National Senior Health and Fitness Day. Today marks the 27th annual celebration for our adult seniors who practice a healthy, active lifestyle. And it's also a day that marks the importance of health and fitness in our lives. I would like to first start off by saying how blessed our company is to have an employee like Katarina that delivers the utmost excellence behind all her creative ideas to make sure the residents of Quail Park at Morrison Ranch are offered classes that excel for healthy goal enrichment in their lives. Katarina, thank you for doing your job with your heart and enriching the lives of everyone you teach, especially being creative during this uncertain time of our lives. Sadly, I will try not to cry, but sadly, COVID-19 has surely changed our daily routines from the norm that we were used to. But most importantly, we all need to be on top of that change to make sure our health is still a priority. With Kat's expertise, she was able to bring National Senior Health and Fitness Day through technology. How awesome is this? There are activities being conducted in the country today that generate over millions of adult seniors to be more in control of their health. So basically more in control of their mental health and more in control of their physical health. That's a big accomplishment for the residents at Quail Park to be a part of because it is such a national big event. It's always celebrated in May, the last Wednesday of each year of the month of May. So with that being said, for all age, it is for all ages, but most importantly, it is for our seniors. Fitness is essential for staying mobile, for staying obviously active and wanting to be healthy. Fitness helps lower the risk and even helps improve certain health conditions, such as physical abilities, memory, and also diet. So remember that diet is also part of your fitness journey as well. So watching what you are inputting in your body is just as important as your daily exercise. So just really in closing, what I would like to add is that Quail Park does have a beautiful workout room, which lies in your home, which is located on the second floor. And I've had the privilege to actually be inside of that gym and workout area to actually see the residents come and engage in working with Katarina one-on-one or working with the therapy team, but that is your gym. You know, it's very rare that you see the ability for people to actually have it within their home, and you guys are blessed having it, and especially having a team behind you to help assist with keeping your lifestyle active. So my recommendation and my wishes are for you to get yourself motivated and set a schedule that then becomes a routine. So that way they say that it takes 21 days to create a habit. So if today is day 1, I want you to make it a great one. I'm so appreciative of everything Kat has done to get our team that is on today. We have Jane, who is the certified holistic nutritionist, who joins us for the second year in a row. We're very honored to have her. Again, I miss you all at Quill Park. I wish you well. You are our goal with what we wish to accomplish one day, and we learned so much from you guys. So we just ask that you teach us all that you can, and we most importantly want you to stay healthy, active, and happy. So again, happy National Senior Health and Fitness Day to all of you guys.
Thank you, Valerie. And I just want to say something. Thank you, Valerie. And you know Valerie very well. She was the spearhead person who came to Quell Park and who, for the Aegis, home care and hospice, and also for the medical part of it. She was the one who helped to set up the gym, made sure that all the residents are on the services whenever you guys need it. So thank you again, Valerie. And we're gonna move on to Bridget, who is also an amazing person, and she's, like I said, she's a nurse and she's also clinical coordinator, a lot of expertise behind, and also a marketer. So she also works very closely with you guys and Quell Park. So now you're on, Bridget.
Thank you. Good to be here. So I'm Bridget Nielsen. I am the nurse clinical liaison. So I'm a nurse and a marketer and a coordinator, and help get the support that you all need set up. So I'm just always here for you. I love Quail Park. I love you all. It's such a blessing to be a part of your community. And so I'm with Aegis Home Care, Hospice, and then Atlas Mobile Physician Group, which you might have seen visiting a lot of the residents there. She's an amazing practitioner. If you haven't had a chance to meet her, I encourage that. But I'm excited to be a part of the National Senior Health and Fitness Day. I had the pleasure of being a part of it last year, and so I'm so glad that we're able to do it this year. But today I get to discuss ways that we can help ourselves be healthy, especially during this time. And I'm going to give you some tools. I'm going to go through a couple subjects. One is washing our hands and reducing risk of infection. The other is eating healthy, just some basics. And then sleep and how it's important for our immune system. And then tools on how to support our mental and emotional well-being, which is really important. So as we age, even though we're perfectly healthy, our immune system grows weaker with age, and it makes it difficult for us to fight off infectious diseases such as colds, flus, and of course we all know COVID-19. In addition to chronic diseases, almost more common with age, it can compromise our immune system and make us a little more vulnerable to serious complications. So that's why it's so important to reduce our risk by following guidelines such as, which I'm sure you've heard of, you want to stay home to stay away from some of these illnesses, of course, COVID-19 that's out there right now. And then we want to wash our hands often. That's really important. So I always say 20 to 30 seconds of just soap and water is excellent. And obviously there's hand gels when you're out and about, but the washing hands is the best thing you can do. Avoid close contact, so 6 feet or 2 arm length away from people. And then you want to clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces such as counters or phones, things like that. So that's important. And the next subject that I'm going to hit on is the discussion of the importance of consuming a good quality diet. This is particularly important to reduce infection and illness. So a healthy diet emphasizes fruits, vegetables, whole grains such as whole wheat, legumes, which are beans, nuts, and then a moderate consumption of fish and dairy foods and poultry, and then limited intake of red or processed meats such as steak, hamburgers, things like that. We also want to avoid eating too many refined carbohydrates and sugar, so cookies, cakes, donuts, all the things that we like to eat for dessert. But even like white bread and things like that, if you have a choice between white bread and whole wheat, whole grain, it's much better for you. And then added fats are really important. At one time, everybody was trying to take fats out of our diet, but now you really are finding fats are primarily like liquid oils, such as olive oils and canola oil. Let's see, and so all of this is really important. It helps us have the appropriate and healthy macronutrients and essential minerals and vitamins. And an adequate amount of minerals and vitamins provides us a healthy diet, but also helps ensure sufficient numbers of immune cells and antibodies, which are important as the body mounts for the response with infection. And then one of the items, this next topic that's really important is sleep. There's big discussions of that in the news as far as it being so important. The quality of night sleep provides an added weapon to our immune system. It helps fight off infections such as colds or COVID-19. And many people struggle with the middle of the night wakening. It's very common when we are resting and still. Many times anxiety and stress will sneak up on us in our subconscious and preoccupy us, keep us awake. But it's important for us to be able to return back to sleep. So I'm going to give you some tools that will help you if you wake up in the middle of the night. What do you do? What are ways that you can go back to sleep? One is if you have a clock in your room or a phone, you want to turn that clock around because you're going to be focused on that time, and that will worry you and keep you awake. So just turn off anything that's going to keep you focused, lights on your phone or on your clock. If you end up being awake for more than 15 minutes or more, they say that actually it's a good thing to get up, don't turn on all the lights, keep the light kind of dim, and don't turn on computers or TV or your phone, but maybe go into the other room or a different chair and start reading or do some deep breathing exercises. And that will help you to get back to sleep. Usually it'll kind of start getting you tired, and then you're able to get back in bed and go back to sleep. Then there's a few others. One is stay quiet. So don't put the TV on loud or start having deep conversation. Try focusing on more being still, having calming words that you can think of, or places you've been that bring you happiness. And focus on those. Many times our mind will kind of deter us and bring us somewhere else. Just continue to try and focus on those. That helps you fall back asleep. The other thing that helps, will encourage us to stay awake, is worry. And so it's really important, if you keep worrying, get a list out, write down all your worries, and it helps your brain let go of your worries. So that's one thing I recommend. And then you probably heard this when you were a kid, counting sheep. Well, counting actually does help you fall asleep. However, it's nice to start at 100 and go backwards. And that focus helps turn your brain off so you can actually go back to sleep, which is really interesting. And then there's two others. And one is if those don't work, try lying in bed and then relaxing your muscles, starting from your feet and then moving all the way up to the top of your head. And basically you flex each muscle and you hold it for 5 seconds on each muscle, working all the way up to the head. And that will help relax your body. And then the last thing for sleep is blocking out noise. So if you have a clock or something that's keeping you, maybe an animal or somebody snoring, you can try blocking it out with noise. So You can get one of those noise machines, or there's some really wonderful apps that you can put on your phone, and that will have a continuous melody or river or white noise, something that helps you go back to sleep. And then if you really do continue to have trouble sleeping for more than a couple weeks, then it's really important to talk to your provider, because there are things that we can do to help support and help patients get more sleep. Sometimes there's underlying things that might be happening as well. And then the last topic is your mental and emotional well-being. Many times we're focused on avoiding the risk of infection, or what what it looks like to have a sickness, which is rightfully so. However, it's important to look beyond just our physical well-being. So we also want to monitor our mental wellness. And so if we want to prevent anxiety and fear and stress, which of course I think some people have increased right now, from taking their toll on their body, all that stress, the following can be done. And one is, I always recommend maybe turning off news stories, social media for some time, some breaks, because sometimes we just have it in the background and it can cause anxiety for us. So maybe turn that off and put on maybe the nature channel or relaxing music. The other thing you can do is do some relaxing breathing, stretching, meditating. That's very helpful. And then we talked about eating healthy. You also want to make sure that you're not eating too much sugar, caffeine, or alcohol at this time as well, when you're not feeling well emotionally. And then one of the best forms of medicine is exercise. So, making sure that you're maybe going up to the gym and utilizing that, or utilizing CATS classes, or even if you're having a hard time walking, maybe we can get you some physical therapy that will help strengthen and get you moving. But that you be aware of that. So exercise is really so important. And I always tell my patients, people in motion stay in motion. So you want to make sure you're staying moving. And then another way that you can help support your well-being is contact with others over the phone, through Skype or FaceTime. And then lastly, and one of the most important things is talking with people you trust about concerns or how you're feeling. It's important to connect with people that you love. That's the best medicine, I think. So if you're finding that you're having any sort of physical condition or emotional symptoms that really aren't passing, such as fever, cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, hypertension, blood sugar, anxiety, depression, or just really tired, difficulty walking, you want to be sure that you reach out to your provider. Leanne, our nurse practitioner, is in there daily, or not daily, but often seeing patients. She does come on Tuesdays, but Kristen's there, and she can help too if there's any sort of change in condition. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure, and the opportunity to speak with you has been a joy. Thank you so much for your time and showing up for this. And I believe the next speaker is Skip, our amazing chaplain, and he's full of insight. So thank you.
Thank you, Bridget, so much for joining us. And yes, and I'm going to pass it to Skip. He's our chaplain. Let me just spotlight you, Skip, and you are on.
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't know that I've ever had anybody introduce me with the word amazing. So thank you. I very appreciate that. And just to tie right in, it was a perfect segue into some of what I'm wanting to share on the mental and the spiritual piece, and that we provide spiritual care through Aegis because there's the belief in clinical studies, so there's evidence to show that if you address the inner needs, the mental, the spiritual needs, that creates an outer benefit. And that being, if you can calm somebody down, if you can reduce their anxieties, You can address the things that are maybe turning them up on the inside and reduce the level of that stress. Their medications work better, they sleep, get rest better, their whole system seems to improve. So that's part of what we're addressing, or what I'm bringing in talking about today. The importance of their spiritual health is just as important as your physical health. And it needs to be exercised in the same way. It doesn't just happen, it doesn't just keep going on regardless of what we think we may be doing. It has to be a conscious effort to exercise that area of our being. There's a verse in the Bible that says, all things work together for good. I believe that in the sense that everything that happens to us can be used as a benefit. I don't believe anything that's happening, based on your faith, that anything that we're going through right now is beyond the Creator's vision, and that this all just took him by surprise, and he's up there trying to catch up and figure out what to do next. There's a promise as well that the Lord will be with us through all of these things. So regardless of your denomination or faith, there's a promise that something bigger is involved in all this. But keeping it more just to what we're dealing with here, it's easier to believe that all things work together for good when those things happen to somebody else. It's a little tougher sometimes just to embrace that there's bad things happening to us. What we're dealing with now is clearly unprecedented, and everybody's trying to catch up to figure exactly how to deal with it, and we're doing the best that we can. So I trust that all of you are in that same boat, just learning and relearning new things of how to deal with this and how to approach it. Our reaction, the way that we respond to stresses like this, begins on the inside. It's an internal thing. If you're watching, I'll advocate for it. There's a show was on last night called America's Got Talent on NBC. Today on the news, they're replaying the audition tape of one of the contestants last night, who was incarcerated as an innocent man for 36 years. And only last year, it was a year ago, March, that they finally were able to reintroduce the evidence that had been out there all of this time, that he clearly was not the guy that did the crime in the first place. And so he's not even barely been out of jail for a year, and gone on, and he's singing on America's Got Talent. Not to talk about his singing ability, but he made a statement when somebody asked, how did you get through all of that? How did you persevere? And he said, prison is in your mind. I never let my mind become a prisoner. I think that's a key piece of what we're dealing with now, and just how to approach some of this. We can keep looking around, staring out the window, staring at our walls and doors, and focus on our limitations, rather than focusing on what's going to be happening when the doors open, when we're able to step back outside, or take a more internal look at what maybe needs to be brought out that way. As we're closed in during our quarantine, it brings up a lot of emotions, and I trust that all of you are feeling stress, anxieties, anger maybe. And anger is a reaction to a threat. This virus is a threat. So being angry is not an uncommon or abnormal reaction. I think fits perfectly in line with how we should be responding to this. But all of these things start internally, and you can process them in one of two ways. Well, probably more than that, but two main ways. If we keep them inside, we bottle them up, put them aside, sweep them away, ignore that they're really there, or they begin to brood, and then they just kind of roll around in our head, and we can't seem to focus on something else. Any process of that internalizes or keeps internal our feelings will show up on the outside. It'll come out in some physical way. Stomach aches, muscle aches, headaches, low appetites, poor sleeping, all of the things, low energy, all of the things that we've talked about that exercise is a benefit for, are starting to form because of we're focusing on inside our head. The benefit of some of this stuff is that we don't need and hopefully shouldn't be trapped there, following on the contestant's statement that it begins in the head and stays in the head. He never let himself become a prisoner. He focused on other things. He found ways to keep himself busy. I would trust that by now you've come up with some new ways, whether it's doing puzzles or something that you weren't able to do that you've started now just to occupy your time. That's not bad. A lot of people are learning new skills, learning to play an instrument, learning some other game. They're doing new things because now they have the time. That's a benefit that comes from all of it. But it's important to address those feelings that are there and not just sweep them away, not only for the physical side of it, but for our growth, our opportunity to grow. As again, going to begin on how much we're willing to do an internal thing. Our feelings are telling us something, telling us about something that's going on the inside. If we feel trapped, that's an extension of some need, some belief that's there that we're only good, we're only satisfied, we're only productive if we're outside doing this or that or whatever that may be. And we're relearning that things are going on, or that maybe that isn't the most important thing, or whatever. I'm just saying feelings are telling us something about what's going on internally. So again, don't ignore. And bad feelings, if you want to put them in that category, aren't bad. Negative feelings are automatically going to take you. They're just a reaction. How they come out is on our choice for how we respond to that. That comes from being centered on the inside. Find out what's really important and what's driving us in this direction. There's a flip whole threat. Gives us that opportunity. It shows us points of need. It's an opportunity to reassess and to learn, not just new things, but maybe more about ourselves. Take a look at why you feel the way you do. Stop for a moment and just sit in it. See what you feel and start to analyze it. See where your mind starts to go as you focus on a particular feeling, the memories, the thoughts, the people that come to your mind. There may be some interconnection there that your body and your spirit are telling you this is something you might want to address. It can be letting go feelings towards somebody else. It can be improving an outlook on something that you're involved in now. It can be changing your focus toward you, letting go of things in the past, but focusing on the things that are truly important, realizing that time is short for all and shorter for some. So maybe there's not enough hours or days left to just keep going in another direction and focusing energy where it's really not well spent. Maybe we need to be focusing more on those relationships that are most important and key to our health, our benefit, and to who we are. Those are some ways of growing and learning through this, and not just be trapped in our rooms, letting our minds being taken over by the negative thoughts and that our we can use this time to get deeper into our relationship, spiritual or personal, to refocus on our, when we come out of this, onto what's again going to be more important to what we've learned, and reshape our lives. It's never too late to begin a new direction. I just read or heard yesterday a story of a woman, 93 years old, 3 books at 93. It's never too late to start something new or to continue on with something that's most important to you. And that all starts with just focus on our internal sides, our spiritual sides, and letting that begin to direct how we respond to this virus. I wish I could see all the faces. It's nice just to know that people are out there, but I'm a people connector. I like to see and be near people. So I'm looking forward to the day when we're all able to reconnect physically. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, and including me.
Thank you. Thank you, Skip, for your time. And that was wonderful. And I will invite Michelle Jennings on, and with her dog, Emmy. So I'm going to spotlight you. This is our pet volunteer. Hi.
Hi, everybody. My name's Michelle, and this is Emmy, and we're a therapy dog team. That means that we've gone through some training and become certified as a team, and that allows us to do things like visit facilities like nursing homes and hospitals, and do some other things. And the people that invite us know that the dog is going to be well behaved and meet certain criteria that they'll feel comfortable having the dog come visit. So what she's interested in is, I have a treat over here, so I think I'll just give it to her so she's not reaching for it. So thank you, Katerina, for inviting us. Maybe the treat wasn't a good idea. Now she wants to run away. Thank you for inviting us to come on. And I just wanted to tell you some things about Emmy. These are questions that I get asked frequently by the residents. We have been affiliated with Aegis for about 3 years, and we go to one of your memory care centers and visit as much as we can. They love to see her there, and she really enjoys being petted by the residents also. So the questions they like to ask is, what kind is she? And she's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. And the response I get frequently is, wow, that's a big name for a little dog, or they think it's a pretty regal name that she has, Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. And then we can talk about, where that name came from. They were actually a frequent companion of the royalty in England for many generations. Back to the 1600s, you can see this kind of dog in the paintings. And they would use them as lap warmers in their carriages, mostly since the women were in the carriages. They would put the dog on their lap as a lap warmer. And another thing about this breed is, see how she has this spot on her top of her head? Almost all of the dogs in this breed that come in this color have that spot. It's called a Blenheim spot. Blenheim is a name of a city, a town in England. And they say that the women in England centuries ago would rub the Blenheim spot, and that was a wish for their men to come back safely from wars. So that's the story on that. Another thing that they like to ask is how old she is. Emmy is 9 years old. I got her and another dog from the same litter, so I have a pair, and Jackson's right over behind me listening. She has the personality to want to visit with people. She's, as you can see, very, very calm and loves to be petted, and you can pretty much do whatever you want with her, and she loves it. Whereas her brother, I call him, he's the male, he's a little bit more cautious around people, so he really wouldn't be well suited to what Emmy does. So another thing that Emmy's good for when we visit with you all, the residents, is that I think it brings back some really nice memories of dogs that you, the residents, have owned over your lifetime, and brings back some things that were really enjoyable about the dog you owned. And so we talk about, what's your favorite breed? Did you have a certain breed of dog mostly, or did you just have mixed dogs? And so I like to ask about, their favorite dog, and maybe share some stories about what some things that happened, with their dogs. And it's a good conversation starter. And, I got into bringing Emmy to the memory care facility because I thought that if I were one of the residents, and I am such a dog lover, that would be something I would really love if the situation was switched and I was one of the residents, because dogs give me so much pleasure and comfort. So I wanted to give the residents that same opportunity to feel the joy that I know so many of us get from dogs, and being able to see them and pet them and feel how soft they are, and just enjoy them for a little while, just to have a little bit of joy in that time that they're together. So some people ask me what sort of things therapy dogs do. Some of the things that we've done besides visiting with residents at memory care centers and nursing homes is, for instance, we went to an event out in a park where children would come and meet the dogs, and we had some books available, and they would read to the dogs. And that was an opportunity for them to practice their reading in a more enjoyable setting. So that was fun. Another thing that we can do with therapy dogs is just try to relieve some stress for people who are in a stressful situation. For instance, some of the local colleges will have us come by with the dogs during exam weeks when they're stressed about their tests that week, and they can unwind for a few minutes and pet the dogs. So that's another opportunity for them to meet some people who might need to have a pet with a dog. So let's see. This dog, Emmy, she doesn't do tricks, but she's very good at sitting on the lap, and she doesn't fidget, and she just sits there and likes to be petted, and that's a good thing. Some dogs won't sit still long enough to be petted. So one of the things she does commonly when we go to the memory care center is she loves to flip over on her back, and then her ears, she has really big ears, and they go out to the side. She looks funny. She looks like Dumbo ears when her head's laid back and she's on her tummy. So I don't know if she does that for tummy rubs or what, but the residents really enjoy that and think it's really cute, which it is. I think it's cute too. Well, that's about all I can think of to share with you with Emmy. I hope you've enjoyed seeing her pretty face. I know I'm a little bit biased, but I think she's beautiful, and I enjoy her every minute, and just don't know what I'd do without her. And I'm glad that I can share her a little bit of the time, and maybe other people can get as much pleasure from her as I do. So, Katerina, that's about all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Michelle and Emmy. What a beautiful dog. You know, I'm a dog lover. I always had dogs and always will. And, you know, at the end of the day, you cuddle with the dog or you go on a walk with the dog, and everything is much better. But let me introduce you the next presenter, and this is actually, we go back, way back. We used to work together many years, and this is our holistic nutritionist, or not ours, but this is holistic nutritionist Jane Reynolds, and I will spotlight you, and now you have a floor open.
Well, hey, everybody over at Quail Park. It is good to kind of see you. I can see you out there in the background on the screen. It does not beat being there in person. I was looking forward to the event and to seeing you all in person today. And I have definitely been a few times before and spoken with all of you. So it's a shame to not be there today, but I'm really thankful to Katerina for pulling this all together, for Val for inviting me back to come and speak to you for just a few minutes about what we can do to protect you nutritionally through the COVID-19 pandemic. And not just now, but like always, these are nutrition tips that are going to help to protect and shore up your immune system. So if you'll give me just 1 second, I'm going to share my screen with you. I have a slideshow for you to go along with the presentation. All right, you should be able to see that now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are.
Good. Okay. Let me just move this over. So we're going to look at today the things that we can do to just give ourselves a fighting chance when infection comes calling at our door. And hold on 1 second. All right, so the first thing I wanted to tell you is that immunity is absolutely a gut thing, believe it or not. Immunity starts in our digestive tract. And when the pandemic began, I went to pick up a few groceries for the week, and I noticed that the shelves were absolutely bare. Every shelf that I looked at was empty. I'm sure some of you saw the same thing. Not only was all the toilet paper gone, but so were all the packages of sugary cereal and frozen dinners and processed pantry items and canned food. I couldn't have bought a packet of cereal if I wanted one. And I was absolutely horrified because, you see, I believe that protecting your health begins in the kitchen. Yep, you heard that right. It begins in the kitchen. So getting sick, if we get exposed, if you're going to get sick, you have to be exposed, but you also have to be susceptible to the virus as well. So one of the things that you can do to help ensure that you are not so susceptible to all those icky germs is by protecting your immune system with nutrient-dense food. 60 to 70% of your immune system is correlated with your digestive tract. So a healthy immune system starts with a healthy digestive tract, and a healthy digestive tract begins with excellent nutrition, right? Because your digestive tract is a little bit like a donut with a hole in the middle. Anything you put through the middle of the hole in the donut is going to affect the sides of the donut. Well, that's how your gut is. So everything you swallow is going to go through your digestive system, and it's going to affect your digestive system and its health. So in the few minutes that we have together today, I want to share 3 things with you. Those are foods that will compromise your immune system. They are foods that will protect it. And then there are some immune boosting habits that will carry you over the finish line. So the first one is fats and fat-soluble substances. And Bridget talked a few minutes ago about the importance of healthy fats. Fats and fat-soluble substances are absorbed through something called the lacteals, and those line the gut wall. So inside your digestive tract, there's these little finger-like projections called lacteals, and they absorb the fats that you eat. When they get absorbed, they get transported directly through your lymphatic chain, which is exactly where your immune system resides. So when you choose to eat processed foods that are full of trans fats and fried foods that are full of omega-6 inflammatory fats, then you create a pro-inflammatory state where your body is trying to protect your health, and you're trying to protect your health, but then you're introducing all these things that compromise it. And it's a bit like inviting all the neighborhood bullies to set up shop on the school playground. You're basically taking your immune system offline when you do that. It's much better for your immune system if you choose healthy fats like those ones found in avocados, olive oil, nuts, and cold water fish. The other thing that Bridget also talked about was refined sugar. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today is the reason why sugar does so much damage. It's because when we eat it, it almost instantly depresses the immune system and kind of puts it to sleep. So when you eat about 3.5 ounces of sugar, it substantially reduces the capacity of part of your immune system called your neutrophils to envelop and destroy bacteria. Normally when you get bacteria in your system, the neutrophils go to work and they grab hold of the bad guys and they destroy them. When you eat sugar, it stops those guys from doing all the work. That effect begins about half an hour after you eat refined sugar, and it lasts for about 5 hours. At its most pronounced point, there is a 40% reduction in neutrophil activity during the period from 1 hour to 3 hours after eating the sugar. So if you have 3 meals a day and you're eating refined sugar at each one of those meals, you're essentially depressing your immune system for most of the day. Not only do sugars turn off the immune system, they also simultaneously feed all the bad guys, the bad bacteria, the yeast, and the fungi. Sugars include things like cane sugar, corn syrup and corn syrup solids, agave syrup, and maple syrup. Raw honey is okay if you have a little bit of it, or you might want to use a sweetener like pure monk fruit extract or stevia. So let's take a moment to talk about 4 nutrients that your body needs to support your immune system: vitamin A, C, and D, and the mineral zinc. Vitamin A helps your body to make and use antibodies in the right way to prevent infection. And zinc works hand in hand with vitamin A to promote your immune health. Seniors often lack zinc. It's often low. And it's linked to your sense of taste and smell. And that's why many of our seniors actually struggle with their sense of taste. It's because their zinc is a little bit low. We find vitamin A in lots of yummy foods like sweet potatoes and carrots and spinach and kale, mustard greens, collard greens and turnip greens, beet greens and Swiss chard, and winter squash. So lots of those orange fruits and vegetables contain vitamin A, and also lots of our green ones. We find zinc in a lot of meats. It's actually in beef and lamb and turkey and shrimp, but we can also find it in sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, lentils, garbanzo beans, cashews, and quinoa. Vitamin C is necessary for the production of white blood cells, which can help protect us from infection. One of the things that our family has recently stumbled across is something called camu camu powder. And camu camu is a berry, but it has the highest concentration of vitamin C. It has more 20 oranges. It has a very bitter taste, but if you add it to something like applesauce, it disappears and kind of gives it almost like a cinnamony flavor, but it boosts your applesauce with 20 times the power of an orange in its vitamin C. You can also find vitamin C in bell peppers, broccoli and Brussels sprouts, strawberries, pineapple, oranges, kiwi, cantaloupe, and cauliflower. Finally, vitamin D boosts our antimicrobial peptides. The work that they do is to get rid of all the microbes in our body that are germ-ridden invaders. We get most of our vitamin D from the sunshine, but as we age, it becomes harder and harder to convert the sunshine into vitamin D in our bodies. So a lot of seniors are low in vitamin D. So we can also find it in our salmon, our sardines, eggs and tuna, and shiitake mushrooms. And some people find it necessary to take some vitamin D just to make sure they're getting enough. The last thing that I want to do for you is to give you a few bonus immune boosting nutrition tips. Say that 3 times fast. And then a couple of lifestyle things. So the first thing is, if you have garlic and a garlic press, then you should press the garlic and allow it to sit there for about 5 minutes before you use it. And then what happens is, when you cut it, all those juices inside it start to mingle together, and they produce something called allicin. And that is a sulfur-containing compound that boosts your disease-fighting process.
I'm going to feed them.
I can hear Emmy in the background.
I think, guys, if you are not muted, I'm sorry. Unmuted, mute yourself, and because we can hear some noise in the background. Thank you.
All right. The next thing I wanted to talk about was probiotic-rich foods. When I talked to you about how probiotics, the immune system begins in the gut, probiotics are the things that stop the growth of bad bacteria, especially in the gut, and they might help to promote the production of antibodies. And we find this predominantly in our fermented foods. Like in this picture here, they're about to make some kimchi, which is salted and fermented vegetables.
Hold on a second. I'm so sorry. Somebody is
I'll try. I don't know how, but I will try.
on your left corner. I'm so sorry.
Starla's totally barking.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Is it Jolene, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to mute you. Okay. Okay, I have you muted. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. All right. So the last thing is on the foods is teas, because they also contain powerful plant-based nutrients. They have things like ginger and lemon balm, nettle leaf and chamomile, and even eleuthero root tea. They all may help to support the immune system. The last couple of things I wanted to suggest were getting out in nature and out into the sunshine. That's going to help naturally boost your levels of vitamin D3 and improve your mood, which helps to lower stress and improves your immune system. And when we get out into nature, just doing that alone has proven itself to be a stress buster. And people engage in something called forest bathing. And it's where you actually, it's not anything weird, it's where you actually just go for a mindful walk in the forest. And when you go for a walk in the woods, it's been scientifically proven to increase the count of your body's natural killer cells. And those natural killer cells go to work to kill off infection and remove the diseases from your body. Bridget also talked about getting enough sleep, and this is so important because your body works to clean and repair itself while you sleep. Most people need 6 to 8 hours to make that happen. Immune repair takes about 7 hours, so that's why they say it's so important for us to get sleep from 6 to 8 hours at night. And then Katerina doesn't have to tell you twice, right? Moving your body, that can help improve your immune system because exercise can help your body to flush the bad bacteria out. Most people aim for about 30 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week. And even going for a good walk is enough to help a lot with your immune system. And then finally, I would echo the same thing that she talked about earlier on too, and that's choosing joy. I want you to do things that promote feelings of well-being. So step away from the social media and your news and give your mind a break for a little while. Choose news sources that promote unbiased and unsensationalized reporting because it'll reduce your stress and give your immune system room to work. So if you just take these few simple steps, it'll give your body a fighting chance to protect your health, and you have so much to gain and nothing to lose by trying. All right, so that's all I have today, Katerina.
Thank you. Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Lots of information and lots of really nice tips. And thank you again. And hopefully you can join us sometimes when we do in-person presentations back in Quail Park. And now we're going to move on to Jolene Licken and her dog, Starla. So again, she is one of our dog therapy volunteers. I'm going to spotlight her, and let me see if I can unmute her. Let me see, because we got muted up here. And okay, so you're unmuted now. And hi, how are you doing? Hold on, we cannot hear you. Hold on a second. Are you on here? Go ahead.
I think we're good.
We're good. Okay, good.
Are we good?
Yes, we are. Good.
Okay. I had to grab her. That was her that was barking in the background because it was time for foods. So she was yelling. Because it's about that time. Anyway, this is my best friend, Starla. And she is a Corgi Basenji mix. Thank you. I adopted her in 2008 along with her brother, Astro, who looks just like her, but he's black. And they've been the best of friends ever since. As you can see, she loves to play dress up. She's got her fancy little thing here. We just went to a pool party the other day, too. She loves that. I got her into therapy back when my mom was going through chemo for breast cancer. And we were sitting there for 8 or 9 hours at a time. She tried to teach me how to crochet. We watched all the movies. We watched everything on YouTube. And we were running out of things to do. So I thought maybe if we had a dog there, she would just sit in her lap and fall asleep. And it would be the best thing for both of them. So that's kind of why I put her through a little bit of training to become a therapy dog. She has a little bit of hospital training. We went through the hospital training with another group, and that was actually pretty cool because they had to, she keeps wanting to go. They had her train on the elevator to make sure that she was fine on the elevator, with wheelchairs, with all the beeping and everything else that happens in the hospital. So they wanted to make sure that she was okay, as far as, you know, it being chaotic or being really calm, whichever the situation is. She wants to go anyway. So that's what brought me to having her be a therapy dog. And then Kara had got a hold of us, and Aegis has been really super great. We really appreciate things that Aegis has done for us, and the people that we've met at the facilities that we go to. With this COVID thing happening right now, it's obviously hard to get out and do some visits, and I do have a full-time job, so I try to do it when I can, because that's the best I can do. And it's awesome. She loves it. We love it. She loves riding in the car. She puts her little seatbelt on. I've got her in a little chair that she has. She loves it. She doesn't know. She doesn't care if we're going to the dog park or the food store, or if we're going to go visit some of her friends. That's what I call it. Like, I tell her we're going to work. She loves to go to work. She loves having a job. She loves meeting people. We have play dates at the house here. She also has two other dog brothers, and we also have 2 goats. So that's exciting. Kara had talked to us about having the goats go around and be therapy goats, and no. But maybe someday, but no. I'm going to try to get her again. Starla! Yeah, she's worried about eating. She was being very impatient. Come here. So this is her brother, Astro. He's not a therapy dog, but he would be good at it. He's a little bit of a grumpy old man. But I got him at the same time that I got her. He's also a corgi mix, and he's a pretty cool dude. So yeah, that's about all that I got.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Julene, and the dog. What a beautiful dog, Starla, and her brother. And
You might want to mute me again, because it's
okay, I'm gonna do that.
man's about to come, so it's.
Thank you. I got you. Thank you for your time and really truly taking time and joining us on this call. And what an amazing story. And I think when I retire one day and I won't have any kids around the house, I might just do the dog therapy. Sounds like a lot of fun, and you bring a lot of joy and love to these communities. So
That's exactly when I retire, whenever that's going to be. That's absolutely my plan, is to.
I know. I think I'm going to be maybe in my 70s and 80s when I retire. So
That.
I can do that. But anyways, we're going to move on to Medicare advisor with Allwell Insurance, Raquel Garcia. So let me just spotlight you. And I'm going to also share the screen. Hold on a second. Just bear with me. And let's see if we can share it. Okay, so go ahead and.
Okay, hi everyone. I want to take the time really quick to thank you guys for having me on the call, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to interact with so many of you, and also to hear everything everyone had to say. I can honestly say that I connected with what Skip said, what the holistic lady talked about. I really like the mission and the vision of the therapy dogs. And with that being said, my name is Raquel Garcia, and I am a Medicare advisor with Allwell. And I'll go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about Allwell and then what I do. Allwell is a Medicare health plan that could help you have the predictable coverage for your Medicare. We also provide extra benefits with our Medicare plans, such as dental, vision, personal emergency response, and more. And that's where I come in. So I am the bridge between the health plan and yourself. I help answer questions, find providers, and help make the most out of the coverage that Allwell has. And I can always help people like sign up, answer questions in regards to Medicare, and I just love helping people. So I really was able to connect with each single one of the speakers that was on here earlier, because I'm very passionate about giving forth and like being a resource to people in the community. So if anyone has any questions, my contact information is up there. If you guys have questions about Medicare, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to thank you. I'm going to back to and here I am. And thank you all for being on this call. And I will wrap it up. I see you guys up there too at the Quail Park, and everybody knows me because most of the residents at the Quail Park, they come to our Aegis classes. I teach classes with residents in the Tribute and also upstairs. And today I was going to touch up a little bit about how exercise and meditation can help with stress reduction and brain health. And you know how you feel when you exercise, and you know how you feel when you sit on a couch, right? If you would be sitting on a couch and watching a TV all day long, you would probably not have any motivation at all, right? And if you add some exercise, you feel all motivated, right? And you feel much better. And so multiple studies shows that chronic stress affects everything. It affects your immunity, affects your memory, affects your brain, and affects your mood. And so right now we have been under major stress, and you've been under major stress, and everybody around. It doesn't matter if you're older or younger, we're affected in different ways. And definitely the exercise, and Bridget and Jane already talked about nutrition. Exercise and nutrition helps because stress increases inflammation in our bodies, right? It damages our genetic health. It injures our brain. It also leads to depression and causes the high cholesterol levels, right? So this is what stress does to us. So we do not want stress. And if we stress, I always talk in my classes. I always give everybody a tips about how to de-stress, and you can take a few minutes. You don't have to exercise all day long, or you don't have to spend about an hour. You can just take a few minutes. When you're stressed out with anything, you can do a little meditation. Meditation, it doesn't have to be like a putting your hands together and saying, It can be just sitting in a chair and listening to your favorite song and just focus on the good thoughts and having those bad thoughts kind of push them away. And you can also, I was talking about it this morning, you can also write down things that are enjoyable for you, or what are you grateful for. You can do grateful meditation, that you write things down and just think about those things, that you're grateful for your family, or grateful to have help around you, or grateful to have nice kids or grandkids. You can also write down some points from your life that you enjoyed. Maybe you went on a wonderful vacation, or you had an amazing birthday party. And so when you're sitting in a chair, making sure you're not crossing your legs, you're sitting and relaxing and taking a deep breath in and out. That's what meditation can be. For somebody, it can be walking outside, or just opening the window and looking outside, enjoying the nice view. And at the Quail Park, you do have a beautiful lake and beautiful trees. You have a lot of different birds. Actually, I was going to take pictures, when we take our walks. I was going to make a slideshow for some people who cannot go on the walks to enjoy the beauty of beautiful Morrison Ranch. It's beautiful. And, as I was listening to all these different presentations through Aspen Brain Institute, I have learned a lot of things, and how one of the doctors presented that, with this COVID-19, is important, very important for us to exercise and eat healthy, because that's how we're going to fight this, and that's how we're going to get strong, and that's how we hopefully, protect, get our bodies stronger, that we can be safe and stay safe and fit. Let me see what I was going to talk about a little bit. I had it all planned out, right? Exercise and the brain. Exercise also helps our brain and prevent Alzheimer's about 50%. And so when you think about the numbers, when you do exercise, and you can start anytime. So think about the numbers. You can prevent dementia or Alzheimer's by 50%. And if you add some activities, brain aerobics, any type of the games, working on the puzzles, doing any kind of a coloring, then you add another 20%. So by doing these two activities, you can reduce your risk of decreasing of getting Alzheimer's disease, and kind of a boosting up your memory and everything. And I know that some of you are pretty good about coming and doing all the activities, and some of you are new. I have seen some new people in our classes, which I'm just, very proud that they come and see these Skype classes, and I have never met them before, and they keep coming, so that's excellent. And it's really, you can start anytime. Maybe you were not raised and you never done exercise before, and that's the beauty of it, that one day you decide and you're just gonna start, and it's the day that you open a new world for yourself. And when you start hearing about all these good things that comes to you with the exercise, they're all good things. And always remember, what's good for your heart, it's also good for all your body, and it's good for your brain, right? So whenever you're doing and you're moving, then you're helping all over. But I don't want to take so much time. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, and I'm going to, whoever is on, I'm going to spotlight everyone, and then we have this wonderful presentation. I'll also share that with you. You already have seen it on your TVs when from our active residents at the Morrison Ranch. So I'm going to spotlight Jolene, one of the pet therapy volunteers. You can say hi if you want to wave. And Raquel, you can wave and say bye.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us.
Then I have a Valerie. Hold on, Val. Go ahead. And
I love you all at Quail Park. Hoping to see you all soon.
And thank you. And then I have Jane. Jane, you can say hi to everyone. Thank you. And I think that's all.
Bye.
Now we can hear you. And I'm going to share with you. So I was going to share with you. Let me just go back to myself. I am really proud of you at the Quail Park. All of our active seniors. Hold on a second. This is the wrong one. I'm so sorry. This is the right one. So, and you have seen this. This is pictures from our last National Senior Health and Fitness Day, and we had a fun day. We did a lot of different activities, and this is our team, and who were, our Aegis team. Here is Skip and Holly, our occupational therapist, and there is Valerie and Kristen, you see all the time, and Bridget, and there is myself. This is from last year, right? And now over here, I'm so proud of people who are truly, active. And these two ladies from Memory Care, Lorna and Rosie, they are on every exercise, and Jolene and Joe, and they laugh and they walk around the lake. And here is we enjoy nature when we walk, so we can see everything by the lake, and it's beautiful. Here is our active ladies during our morning classes. There is Karen and Ursalu and Elaine, and they have been coming all to all our classes. And we do have a classes now every day, Monday at 10, and Tuesday we have a classes, in tribute at 8:45, 9:30, and 11. It's all on your schedule. Wednesday you have a 11 o'clock class. Thursday is kind of the same as Tuesday, and Friday we have a 10 o'clock class. But here is Karen, and Karen is right here, and she is one of the most active residents at the Quill Park. And here I have a Carl and a Jon. They both come to most of the classes. Here is our group of the ladies and gentlemen who come to yoga, sit-down yoga class. And right here, Dinah, Karen, Elaine, and Albert and Samara, one of our residents. They also enjoy coming. And we also learn through different presentations. Every month we do have a presentation. I hope that Jane can join us sometimes and present for us again sometimes in the near future. And we do have a presentation scheduled on June 10 at 1 o'clock. It will be on your schedule. We do a lot of other things, a lot of other activities. So I just wanted to make sure here are ladies working out during the COVID-19 with Melissa's, the activity director, help connecting all the technology. And really thank you so much, all activities team at the Morrison Ranch, to make it happen, because without you guys we would not be able to do this. So we are doing this together. We haven't stopped. Nothing's gonna stop us, right? And so all the people at the Morrison Ranch, please keep up with the good work. Continue what you're doing and continue learning, attending all the activities. Keep yourself busy. Don't stay at home. Always, make sure that you do something. And, what helped me, here is our Aegis 4 pillars of wellness: strength, balance, flexibility, and endurance. But I just share with you. Sorry. So I just want to share with you one thing. What helped me to get through all of this time was to stay focused and to keep working, to keep teaching classes, and to keep seeing you guys. And seeing you motivated me, and staying on a schedule, making sure that everybody's okay. And that's all, and having a good support. And Aegis is an amazing company, and we have all different professionals, and we do a lot of good things, but also supporting, for example, me to hear from Valerie, or from Diane, or from Bridget, or Skip was calling. So amazing support, and we want to do all of this for you. So thank you for being on this call, and happy National Senior Health and Fitness Day this year. And I hope to see you soon at the Quill Park. Let me just spot you guys that we can see you, hopefully all. And now I can see everyone. So I'm gonna wave at you. You can wave at us even if you don't see us. Thank you guys for coming and joining, and keep doing what you're doing. And remember, tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow we're gonna start with 8:45 class in tribute, 9 o'clock class. Is it 9:30 at upstairs, balance and strength, and then we have a 11 o'clock thing. I have to check my schedule. 11 o'clock we have a sit down yoga. So hope to see you there, and enjoy your day. Thank you all. Bye.